Oh 7 citizens, my name is Black and welcome to my channel CasaBLACK Gaming, where my house is your house. Now, those of you who know me from my channel know that I normally am a pretty positive guy. I mean, I do say to keep it positive at the end of every one of my videos, but I do sometimes have some clashing or negative opinions about any game that I play, and so even though I never want to come off as angry or negative, I do think there are some valid complaints or improvements that I can share, but I will also offer up some constructive feedback and not just complain for the sake of complaining. After all, Star Citizen is an alpha and needs feedback and not drama. So with this topic, which I feel is long overdue, I will keep it mostly positive because I have a feeling this complaint might soon see a resolution. So for the past month, my wife and I have jumped back into Star Citizen head first, and we have been trying to improve our FPS game, which has always been our weakest point since neither of us are really FPS players. Sure, we've done our fair share of MMO combat, but shooters are a different beast, so we've set out to correct this for many reasons, most of which is that we know we cannot get away from it as Star Citizen continues to progress, especially with a lawless system like Pyro coming up. Consider it us trying to learn to defend ourselves, if you will. Now, there are many complaints one might have about FPS combat in general, but for now, a big one that seems kind of glaring has been that with outdoor combat, you are sometimes subject to the elements, and even though there are hot and cold suits for being out mining, that armor is not really meant for combat. I will admit that the majority of missions dealing with combat are actually indoors or in places where the temps are not that extreme, but we did run into both hot and cold issues while out doing deliveries at derelict outposts or while doing bounties and merc missions on Hurston's Aberdeen. It was kind of crazy to us that being out around 10 minutes or so that we were beginning to die from heat or cold. Our standard armor was just not cutting it, and after looking online and asking in Discord, it seems that hot and cold armor sets are not really a thing, at least not for combat, and at least not yet. Now, with CitizenCon coming up this very weekend, and there being a section called Dress to Kill, perhaps we will finally see some armor that deals with the harsh climates. I certainly expect to see some specialized gear since it has been talked about in many monthly reports this year, but will those armors also have hot and cold debuffs? Will we possibly be able to craft gear and add modifiers on them ourselves, since crafting is another thing we know that's coming, which could mean crafting armor and weapons. Now, these are questions I am hopeful are answered, as I believe they are long overdue and honestly should have come with Hurston and Microtech. With many more different environments either teased or already upon us, such as the acidic caves, it is clearly high time we saw more options because pretty much every alien environment is trying to kill you in some form or another. Environmental gear options are past due, and I for one have enough to worry about with your ammo, medical devices, etc. I'd like one less thing other than making sure I have brought the right gear on my ship, which I don't mind, and would mind even less once we have suit lockers so you can swap suits quickly, but that's another complaint for another time. Anyway, I try to keep these short, so that's all, and thank you for hearing this quick complaint. Of course, I complained because as a player, I felt wronged by the climate, almost killing me as it did. Now, don't get me wrong, I very much enjoy environmental hazards, and I definitely want more, not less, but there should also be items in place to practically negate hazards as well, and with combat being one of the main reasons you would be outdoors, at least for now, it only makes sense to either have specialized armor for those hazards or to make the stats on default armor not be affected by them, at least enough to kill you. Don't forget we also have base building coming out, so I'm pretty sure many of us will be building in hazardous areas, and having to worry about going inside every 10 minutes might present a problem with that. Anyway, if you found this helpful or would like to help amplify this complaint, the easiest way to do so is to share the video, like, and comment below on any suggestions that you might have, and let's go ahead and have a conversation about it. And why not join my Discord where me and others have some good conversations about all things Star Citizen and more. Anyway, I've been Black, and thank you for watching, and let's try to keep it positive out there as we make our way through this non-perfect verse.